Hello everybody and welcome to the show. We're gonna paint Taskmaster cause it's October. October and October. It's cold outside, that's what it is. Not quite really, but it's awesome. Heck yeah, Josh. Boom. Oh, look at that. Wrong one. Hello everybody, welcome to Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. I'm your host, Daska. And hopefully you've been watching Mr. Will Schick on Tuesdays paint up his awesome looking Daredevil, which was really cool. It's kind of funny because we painted our Daredevils in the exact same scheme. Maybe I'll pop this up on camera here in a little bit. But today we're painting our Taskmaster, the super awesome villain with the photographic memory, so you can always copy all your moves. And we'll see what we can copy off of some artwork. I'm just gonna make it up today. I got a microphone now. I got it working. So now I'm loud. I'm always this loud. I'm a very loud person. Anyways, let's get painting our Taskmaster and see what we can come up with. I don't really have a scheme in mind, so if you got something, let's go with it. We're getting into the autumn. It's my favorite time of year. So maybe we can do like spooky Taskmaster. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Click it over there. Take it away, Tasky. See, Iris of Hollyhock says orange and purple Halloween themed Taskmaster. I'm kind of leaning that way. But I think we can do a little experimentation on this, maybe. Okay, let's take some. I have a purple and a magenta on my palette. I need some black. But what if we were to take a little magenta? Boop. You can't see my palette, sorry. Let's mix that into some black. Let's Halloween this up just a bit. So I think it maybe is primary costume area. See, I'm loud until I start painting, and then I get in my all like gentle. That's my gentle voice now. I think I have 3 different voices. I have my paint voice, my talk voice, and then my karaoke voice. Karaoke voice is definitely the loudest. Half time I don't even need a microphone. So once again, I've failed to replace my brush. That's fine. I just keep forgetting to grab a new one. So what are you guys painting? What's being painted out there in the wonderful world of atomic mass crisis protocol lands with y'all? What's the thought behind magenta as a base purple? Okay, so magenta adds a lot of vivid warmth and I can add depth. Instead of going straight down to like a really, really tough purple, the magenta adds that warmness to it, and then I can build purple in deeper if I want, and then leave some of that magenta showing in the upper area, the upper surfaces. So it's just about adding some depth mainly. Tim DeBoss, this week I've done Drax, Ronin, Ebony Maw, Black Dwarf. That's a very productive week. I was on vacation last week and I painted, Josh, can I name one of the ones I painted? Is that okay? But I painted, finished up my Storm from the stream that we started on the streams. Finished up my Daredevil, finished up Kingpin, and if you're on the social medias. You can see these. I shared them out. There was something else I finished. I finished up 5 miniatures over vacation. Can I show it, Josh? Oh, Josh just said it. Just ruined my surprise. I'm just gonna show it now. Can I show it? I'm gonna do it. I finished up my beast. I went with Grumpy Face. He's a Grumpy Face beast, not the book reading beast. I'll do another one. Let me get him a little bit more focused. Get out of the way, Taskmaster. So I went with the Grumpy Face beast. Classic yellow belt, dark shorts, and the red X. Okay, so that's a pretty, see, I like this like dark, see that black turned that magenta. I'm probably going to do that little symbol a different color now that I think about it, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put like a little glaze there just in case I change my mind. Who knows what I'll do. Iris says the pinstripes on Kingpin were really nice. Thank you. Sometimes I like doing those little things on even if the miniature is just for tabletop, which is what that Kingpin is for. That's just my gaming Kingpin. So I paint him fairly quick. Sometimes I like going in and adding those tiny embellishments. They're a lot of fun. And if you practice it, and I've messed up a whole bunch of miniatures in my day, learning and developing skills and ideas. And so sometimes you just gotta try stuff and just be like, well, whatever happens, and I just live with it. And like I love those little mistakes. Like I just totally accept them. So this is now like a dark purple with some black. And I'm just going to establish some shadows. And because this is purple and not magenta, so it's much darker. It's a much flatter color, actually. It ended up being much flatter than I was expecting. And that's okay, because I kind of want that, I think, now that I'm looking at. I like the flatness. You can see that that's the color. Who are you planning to play in Criminal Syndicate with Kingpin? I mean, definitely Taskmaster. I just really love this character. It's pretty rad. And I like the miniature. I like this, like, just cool. He's just lunging right at you. He's probably just blocked something with the shield, and he's got the sword back, and he's pretty gleeful. This is the fun looking miniature sculpted up by Dave Kidd. I think Doc Ock. I'm a very thematic person, so if you're looking for like some secret tech, you're asking the absolute wrong person. Because I like doing stuff like, I'm going to bring Captain America in the Criminal Syndicate because my Captain America is a bad guy today. So MODOK is awesome. I mean, if you've been watching us for any length of time, I think you know my love of MODOK. I just think he's so bizarre, such a bizarre design that it's like I just love really out there designs, and I think MODOK is such an out there brilliant design. So, and I'm talking aesthetic design, like comic book character design, but also the rules. I think the rules are a lot of fun. He sort of fits my control-y aspect that I like to play sometimes. All right, let's kick this down one more time. Super, super black. Lots and lots of black on this one. Shade it one more time. Really push the black down into this. We're just going to leave a little bit of that purple showing now. So a lot of my purple just got covered up, and that's okay. Because the way I paint, I'm very much a two-brush blender. And what that does is allows me to drag paint out a lot. And by dragging the paint out, it thins it and creates a lot of translucency, which also lets me kind of unlock other colors that are underneath it. So like I put that magenta and I kind of covered it up with the purple, and now I'm kind of covering up with the black, but because they're all translucent colors, I get a little taste of them, and it just adds a lot of depth to the finished outcome. It's pretty dark. It's good. Coming on for a year now, passed so fast. You're telling us, like, Atomic Mass. We've existed for not quite 2 years, and I'm telling you, it has gone by super quick, and it's just been an amazing ride, And I rarely try to speak for everybody, but I think this time I am. I think I will speak for everybody in the studio. It's been an amazing ride, not just a wild ride. And, we've been working hard and developing new skills and techniques to bring you the best possible miniatures we can, and we never give up on that. And we're constantly trying to push the envelope for ourselves and for what we can do and bring to you. And let me tell you, when you're in the trenches, the time does go by really fast, and you just kind of look back and you're like, wow, look at what we did in a year. It's like, look what we did in a year. Rude? What's rude? I don't know what's rude. Did I say something rude? If the word rude was shouted out like that, that is shit. I'm telling you right now. Frankie. Oh, speaking for everybody. Yeah, I did. You can have firm words with me after the show. I accept the firm words of rebuke. Rebuke me after the show. I know it's rebuke. Alright, so let's highlight this black. So now I'm going to take magenta and my wonderful off-white I love so much. And a little touch of purple. I'm just going to mix a whole bunch of colors together basically. And I'm just going to start putting in some little highlights where I want them. So we like to try to create these, because you're not dealing with, characters with, armor and, typically we're not dealing with characters with like a ton of armor and thick platings or other things. You're dealing with a lot of human physique when you're painting Marvel heroes. And so we add these like little micro folds to show the tension. You know, like right there, you got that little microphone fold. You want to throw a little highlight on those, just very gently with the brush. You know, it's a good way to indicate detail and form without cutting like a huge line in the physique, right? Because then you get a weird effect of like, well, how deep is that line? So we use a lot of microfolds. So I'm just going to bring up some of that highlight. Just to accentuate that form. Let's kick that up one more time. A little more off-white. Just pick some spots out for those like really bright highlights. Iris asks, what is my favorite miniature of the upcoming mutants? I don't think I have a favorite. Like as a miniature maker, we get pretty excited over everything because each one has like their own unique puzzle to figure out when we're making them. So I don't know if I have a favorite. I really love what we were able to do on Storm, like from a miniature design perspective. That was a lot of fun. But I think Toad is super interesting. It's such a cool pose and very dramatic. And then you have things like, you know, of course, Magneto, who was just really, really like a lot of fun. You know, being a standalone box gave us a lot of space to kind of play with what we could do with that miniature. And that was a great experiment. Maybe this should be orange. We'll keep some of his classic elements, the orange color, because classic Taskmaster has orange on him, so we'll utilize that. We need a sand color. What's the name of that sand color you like, Shek? I think it's called Sahara sand. Let me dig that out real quick. Let me grab that. I get to take my microphone with me now because it's attached to me. That's always good. Makes it way easier. So many paints. No, this is the riveting part, right? Orange gloves. I'm thinking black cape, black gloves, black boots. Kind of to frame him, because definitely the skull is going to be more realistic skull-like. And so with that being very light color, if you frame it with a dark color, it's going to make it pop out more. So I definitely think in black cape to allow that skull to just pop. Nice big contrast there, of course. And if the cape is black, then I kind of feel like the boots and gloves should as well. See what happens. I totes did not mix that paint up as well as I should have. That's my fault. Yeah, I like that idea. The orange lining to the cape. That's a good idea. The inside of the cape here, orange, using black on the outside because that's on the top and it frames the skull. That's pretty good. I liking it. Liking that. Okay, let's just add a little more orange. Paint's a little wet. I'm going to get that on that band. It's okay, it doesn't matter. I'm going to come back and paint a different color. And the T is raised slightly. So I'm going to paint that, and then when we paint the interior elements, this element, it'll dark line that for me. So you can see the T. T looks like it's like that, the classic Taskmaster T. So definitely with that bright orange, that's going to look really good. Just throw another quick layer on that. Yeah, I think minimum on that orange. But I do like this idea. I'm going to tone this way down with more red though. Simone, welcome. We're doing Spooktacular Taskmaster. So we're going to just push this orange more red for the drama. Doesn't have to match perfect. I have to flip him upside down, sorry. I gotta pull him up with his little mic stand. Can't get back there. There we go. Is green as an accent color going by the color? I'd have to grab the color wheel. I don't have it memorized, but if I remember correctly, then yes. green could be an accent color. Actually, I'm going to bring up my color wheel. Because it also kind of depends on where I laid this purple, which is much darker. So it might actually push that accent color more to the yellow. Because purple and yellow are your like real good accent colors. Or they're good contrasting colors, complementary colors. And so I push this really more the lavender and then orange. Actually, I'd be pushing with that color. With the colors I went for, I would think I would hit more toward the yellow green. Looking at a color wheel. Which I'm not quite sure where I would put on this miniature. Thinking about a yellow green on him. Maybe you could do like a light source across the black. But I don't know if you need it. Because you definitely don't want the leathers. You don't have to have tertiaries on everything. So this is just a watered down black. And I'm just going to start building in some black on there. Just to frame him up. See what it looks like. Get a feel. So it's too watery actually. It also doesn't have to dry perfectly. I can use my paint to tidy that up as we go. As we actually go in to paint it. Now this is underneath, so I'm just going to grab just black paint. Just blacken those boots up underneath there. And the sword scabbard. No one's ever going to see that. So now one trick you can do here too also is when you learn tube brushing. This is a very lazy, sloppy, fast version of it. I have a very lazy version of it. If I can just start darkening that cape the way I want. A lot of times I'll really water it down and just really kind of stretch it out over that zenith. That's kind of what I did there. You know, let that zenith work for me there. On the inside of the hood probably should have been orange. We'll fix that. And this is just going to start establishing some of that black material for me. And I'll just refine it as we go. I don't have to be perfect on the first pass. Sometimes you just need to define and refine. yeah, it would be triad what we were talking about. Like I said, not everything has to utilize triads. Triads are fun. I think going for this spooky autumnal Taskmaster, we want to kind of minimize what we're doing. So the orange and purple, the skull, all really good elements to play with. See, a lot of times you saw that paint breaking because I had it pretty moist. Sometimes you just gotta keep, if you're working with very loose paint like I do, you can utilize that and just keep kind of pressing it around over top of the elements until the paint kind of adheres to whatever is preventing. I probably just touch the miniature. I touch miniatures all the time, like even studio ones. Like when I paint them, I just touch them. You know, a lot of people wear gloves and stuff. Yeah, I don't. So let's get some more black on him here. Now this is just pure black. I do add a lot of colors to blacks, and I think for this, I think I want to leave the color as an additive to the highlights. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. And I want like this belt, I want like a nice good coat of black on that. There we go. I'm really letting that zenith define where everything lays. You know, it kind of builds it right in. And I'm just reinforcing what was put there by the airbrush, and or if you don't have an airbrush, you can use rattle cans. And see, I didn't put any black on the shoulders and those really high spots because I don't want to, like I took this shadow from here and I drug it out. And if I drug it over this, then I would like, well, that's what that damn brush is for. Clean it up, clean it up, clean it up, clean it up. If I drug it over this every time, I would be toning this down. But what if I just bring it out and then bring it out and then I throw it over, I get to tone this less. So I'm working this area less to keep it very, very light. Yeah, I'm not saying gloves are bad by any means. I just don't use them. I just touch miniatures. Like that's how I paint. And never had any problems with it. You know, sometimes that just means you gotta do a little more cleanup or something, but no big. I'm okay with that. So remember, black, we've talked a lot about painting white recently, because I've painted a lot of white recently. And white is the, use of so many colors and not a lot of white. And black is the opposite. I want a ton of black on this. Like, And then it depends like on how light I want it or how gray I want it. But you push a lot of black into it, and then like I think the ratio I always think of is 70% black, 30% color, and then on white it's like 80% color, 20% white. So they're kind of reverse of that, each other. Yeah, airbrushes are like they're pretty reasonably priced now, and you can do a whole lot with them. I typically prime. The one thing, I come from the Midwest, so you know, priming is limited. How often you actually get to prime miniatures in the Midwest. So the airbrush definitely helps with that. I'm never hindered by the weather, which I love. And then they make great use for base coats. And there's some amazing painters out there that use it for almost everything. You know, and if that's what you want to learn, there's no wrong way. You know, this is your paint, this is your hobby, this is your art. You know, so you can do it however you want. You know. There's no rules in art, so there's definitely no rules on how to pleasantly enjoy painting your miniatures. You do what makes you happy. It's your free time. But you know, airbrush is definitely more reasonably priced, and they're easy to maintain. So they're a nice little tool if you can get one. You can take it as far as you want. Yeah, you say that every week, Frankie, but I disagree with it. Right tool for the job. Right tool for a job. It doesn't matter what the tool is. If you need a hammer, don't try to use a screwdriver. And yeah, a little bit of a trim there. I don't think there's a technique that I haven't done on a studio miniature. I'm just going to keep reinforcing this black. I'm just kind of slowly building it up. I'm not speed painting today, am I? What was the one I painted recently and everybody's like, whoa, that was fast. I can't even remember what it was. Support my hand. Oh boy. I've definitely finger painted I've definitely had paint on my hand from like closing a bottle of paint and been like, and I just kind of wipe it on the miniature. Like that's a thing. Not the whole miniature, but I've definitely wiped paint off my finger onto a miniature. I'm going to chalk that up to I've finger painted a studio miniature. I'm taking this win, don't take it from me. Oh yeah, he's got the little beaky cow. I gotta darken that up. He's so menacing. He's so menacing. Alright, let's go a little more orange on stuff. Kick that up. So now I got a couple of layers on that orange. I can start amping up the intensity of it. And then what I'll probably do is shade it down with a really, really rich red. I got black. I'm just going to loaded brush my colors now. Why not? Let's do it. Loaded brush. Here we go. I'm not loaded brushing right now. I don't think there's a bad place to run Daredevil, is there? I don't know. Josh loves Daredevil. Josh will tell you. Let's go a little yellow. Add it to our orange. Make it more vibrant. No frills highlights. No frill highlight. I mean, we could loaded brush him. I just don't have a reason to do it right now on this feller. Kick it up. Kick it up. Just add that intensity. Just a little intensity there. Yeah, new mic is crispy. I'm glad that's working out. All right, we got 15 minutes. If you got any questions, let's hear them. I know Schick is in there talking about Daredevil. We showed off my Beast Boy. He's so blue. And since we're doing the Spooktacular Taskmaster, I guess it's time to announce that this month's painting protocol challenge will be, are you ready? Spooky. Let's celebrate the best season. I say it's the best season. That's subjective. So we want to see your spooky paint jobs, or villainous, I guess. So if you have like Dark Captain America or Dark Captain Marvel, those would count. Let's see the dark side, the spooky side, to go with our Halloween themed. Somebody missed Beast. Let me show Beast again. Are you ready? Get out of here, Taskmaster. Wait, that's a terrible Beast impersonation. Oh, my stars and garters. Boop. There he is. I went with Grumpy Beast. I need to do the second version with the glasses in the book because I think it's so adorable. But there's Grumpy Beast, all blue and looking cool. And I promised to show my almost complete Daredevil, the Man Without Fear. I just got finished the base. I think I'm going to leave a little bit of that halo on the rubble, the fallen masonry. But yeah, Schick and I both went with classic, old school look there. All kinds of ideas. How would you paint puddles on the base to look like it's raining? So that's a great question. I'm going to switch the camera over because I'm just going to get talking now. Like when I get talking and it's just on the miniature, like, so how would you, so look at how water affects surfaces. Water droplets or puddles, they tend to darken the area and change the color ever so slightly. So you want to paint like that shape, and then you want a dark ridge, and then you need highlights, very, very bright highlights, like, almost pure white, because that's the light reflecting very sharply off the water. So look at water droplets. Like if you're taking a shower, look at how water is on your hand and the droplet, like you can see the skin, but then you have a droplet, so it's dark around the rim, and you have like these very, very bright. So it's very tricky, but it's all about just studying light. You could also do some really cool 3D effects with, say, resin or water effects. And you could do string, not thick string, fishing line, or you could even use like a little bit of your own hair. But you make like a little thing, like, I don't know, maybe that tall. You glue it down with super glue, coat it, and you can make it look like the drops hitting the base. Like, I think there's some ways out there to do it. Do some study, do some research. Let's get back to painting. Yeah, I don't really use a lot of gloss because we, as a studio, when you paint for a studio, you kind of avoid gloss because your photographer will kill you. So I tend to just avoid gloss because I have to photograph my miniatures a lot. And I personally just don't like the effect. So I don't know if I would go with gloss, but everybody has different preferences. And I can really start pushing in. I would typically wait till after a show to paint that bottom edge, because my hand's upside down and not braced against anything. Well, see, and that's what happened. So the way I'm going to paint this is just keep reinforcing, darkening the black. I'm not trying to paint it all at once because I want to leave that skeletal grayness. And what I might do now that I'm looking at it and I'm painting it, I might go back and I might add some green or tan into this to make it feel almost like bone a little bit, you know, without texture. Just have that little hint of bone color hidden in the backside of the cape. Might make it look more visually interesting. Like we could even now that I'm thinking about it, let's just go ahead and darken out all the glove and boots, much more than the cape, and we'll just do them in a completely different black. So this is going to add to our contrast. I like this idea. Okay, we're going to wrap up pretty soon. If you have any questions, let me know. Like I said, the new hashtag painting protocol challenge this month is going to be spooky, villainous. So get started working on those. Post them up on Instagram so we can find them all in one convenient location. What book will, I don't know what book my beast will be reading. I don't know, maybe something like, I don't know, physics or, brief history of the universe. Oh, something fun like that. Are we cool with gore on the paint jobs? Personally, I'm not big, I love horror movies a lot. But on miniatures, not a big gore guy. I don't know why. War and Peace. I never met Warren. More highlights. This is way more yellow. Yeah, Revenant. I use two separate brushes. So as you can see here, I'm going to put like a little dot of yellow. I'm going to grab a second brush that's damp. And it's dirty and damp. And then I stretch it out. So I grab the edge of the paint and I stretch it out. That's how I typically do my blends. There's lots of ways to paint. There's no wrong way. Everything works different for everybody. This is just the way I prefer. It's like a little bit of yellow. Grab it here. I'm just going to push it to the edge because I want like a nice bright yellow line. Get that nice yellow line on there. But if you wanted to do bigger blends, like on cape or coat, I put a little paint there. I grab the damp. I wet the area. I grab the edge. I don't push up in the paint typically. You don't want to push up in there because that's how you get a bathtub ring. You grab the edge and then you just start bringing it back over that area and it just pulls it out and transfers it out. Makes it nice and translucent. This is just a layer. I'm not going to blend this. So I'm just going to... And I can do tricks like that. Like, I can get really incredibly sharp lines, actually, if you practice this technique. Probably can't do this on camera, but I'm going to try really, really hard. So like if I want to really, I gotta be really, really fast, and I just drag that away, just keeping just a little bit of paint right toward the edge. So you can kind of build in these incredibly sharp lines by pushing the pigment right where you want it. Alright, this Taskmaster looks pretty good. Pretty good. I'm going to grab a little green. It's like a swampy green. Thin down a whole lot. I'm just going to wash his face in this. I typically do my bones with greens and browns. So I like a lot of color in there. And then I would do, well, that's still wet, but I would do like a brown to deepen that out, richen it out, add a little life to it, even though it's a skull. So like once again, like let me grab a little white here. Let's grab a little white. Like say I wanted a really sharp edge here. Grab that very quickly. You can end up drawing like incredibly sharp lines on surfaces. If you go back on Facebook, I posted my, or if you look at the, actually if you look at the studio widgets, the lightning bolts were done this manner. I would paint like a line. Let me show that real quick. We got 1 minute. I'm going to show this real quick. I gotta find something to paint on. Let's use a base. So like my lightning bolts on the widgets, what I would do is paint the lightning bolt very rough. Like that. You could do marble as well, but like the cleaner you make that side you're working from, the sharper the line becomes. You can, you start out with a pretty wide line there. Crack-a-boom! So hopefully that makes sense. Like by using that damp paint and a damp brush, I'm able to use that to my advantage and get sharper lines and control what kind of line I get. It's great for cleaning up freehand as you go along as well. I do practice sometimes, like painting very, very small. So if you just learn to like, it's all about just practicing and stuff like that, getting those really tight lines. That's why I like using, this is a size 1. A really, really fine tip. There's not a lot of paint on there. I'll show you how wet the paint is, just like that. And you can, you know, develop that hand to do like those pinstripes on your kingpins and stuff like that. You know, you can paint really thin lines, or you can learn to use that second brush to like really get in there and be faster about it and not as precise at first, right? You know, you could be precise like that, you know, that's fine. Or you can just smash and drag. It's up to you. Lots of techniques, lots of ideas. Like I said, there's no wrong technique. It's all about just having a lot of little techniques in your pocket that you can pull out anytime, right? So when you're looking for a screwdriver, don't grab a hammer. When you're looking for a hacksaw, don't grab a buzzsaw, right? So practice lots of little things. Practicing freehand. The first time I ever really started practicing freehand, I just grabbed a piece of plastic card and I just sat down and just tried to draw my name over and over, just as small as possible. You know, maybe you start out big, maybe you start out, you know, I ran out of room there. And then you just keep refining your hand to go sharper and sharper, and learning how to control that brush is real key, right? Just learning how to really use that tip of that brush. You know, it might be better with black actually. So if you want to learn, it's all about practicing. It's all about messing up. It's all about trying stuff new that maybe you've never tried before, you know? That's what it's all about. It's just, sometimes you just gotta give it a go, right? Yeah, it's a Kolinsky sable hair brush, Revenant. Just a good old watercolor brush. All right. Before Josh shows up at my house, let me switch it back over to let's kick it over to this. Remember, Atomic Mass Transmissions at Instagram is where you can hashtag painting protocol. The challenge this month, spooky, autumnal, villainous, just like our wonderful little Taskmaster here, looking dastardly, ready to take on the good guys in his criminal syndicate with his criminal syndicate boys. Atomic Mass Games on Twitter and Atomic Mass Games on Facebook, of course, for all the latest information, news, and teasers, spoilers, and fun stuff. Who knows what's in the works, what's in the plans. I do know next week everybody's going to be super excited. We got some really great painting streams coming up next week. I actually know what they are this week. So remember, join in on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Mr. William Schick. Thursday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for me, Dallas. And until next time, be safe. Remember, be a hero. We'll catch you later. Talk to you later. Bye. Thanks for joining. Putting on my paint palette. Thanks for hanging out. Painting up a Taskmaster. Spooky time with Taskmaster. Spooky time with Taskmaster.